What's up everybody, Jesse here, or Game Over Jesse as you all may know me, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Gotham. Gotham Season 4, Episode 1, Pax Penguina, which I hope I pronounced right, was actually really awesome for the beginning of the season. I didn't know what to expect going into it because, like most DC TV shows, especially those in the Arrowverse, it ended with a big, epic conclusion on the last episode, and you don't really know if it's going to be a cliffhanger and the next season's going to start immediately after, or if it's going to progress like time in real life, where obviously we had a few months between the end of Season 3 and the beginning of Season 4. So sometimes they like to keep it going like everything, like the show continued while we were away, and that's sort of what they did here. It ended with the criminals, the crooks, everyone taking over, and instead of seeing what the fallout of that is like, we pick up a few months later where everything is being controlled pretty much by Penguin. And yes, obviously there will be spoilers. You can't really review something without getting into at least a little bit of spoilers. Otherwise, you would just be saying, hey, it's good or it's bad. And this was a great episode, I thought. We started seeing Bruce Wayne actually being the Bruce Wayne we know from the comics. He's not quite Batman yet, but there was some odd stuff going on with Ra's al Ghul, or however you want to pronounce his name. My co-host has his own way of pronouncing it from one of the videos, I believe. But anyways, it was very interesting because we see him in a mask, dressed in black, stopping a criminal. Thing is, this time that criminal had a license to legally commit the crime, which at first I was like, well, this is a bit odd. But then later on we see it's actually Penguin that's in control of all of this. He has talked to the mayor or whoever's running the city, and they've actually licensed crime, which is a bit odd, but apparently what it did, not only is it making Penguin and the city money, it's also keeping crime down. So Penguin's going around killing all these people committing these crimes because crime is absurd. Gotham's been bad and it got worse. So now, who is there to clean up crime in Gotham City? Not the police. Most of them are corrupt. So it's Penguin. Penguin is going around stopping everyone. We're led to believe that he's just killing people who are causing these problems for everybody. But the crazy thing is, crime is actually down. There's no more murder. There shouldn't be any murder is the thing. There's no really violent crimes. They're letting people go rob banks, rob stores, steal cars, do whatever. Basically, we seen a bunch of robbery. There was no real murder, but this is on TV, so who knows what they're really doing. And the thing is, that sounds bad. They're just allowed to go rob people, but crime is almost half, if that, of what it was when people were just doing whatever they wanted to. So it's actually making everything safer. And there's rules in place for it. Apparently there's no murder, which I believe, but this leads us to the big problem on this episode. There is a sort of rival gang who I believe wasn't able to get their cards to commit these crimes, so they go around terrorizing people illegally, and there's a confrontation between him and Penguin's gang, so they have to go and they kidnap the son of the person who was making the scarecrow gas that made everyone afraid. I forgot really what the technical name of it was, but they did something really interesting to where we all assumed that his dad was the scarecrow, but I forgot exactly what happened to his dad in the last seasons. But the kid's in like a psychiatric hospital, Arkham, I believe, and they pay the warden or whoever he is to have him go back to their place. Now he's making this gas for them, and they're not really treating him nice. They're basically abusing him more than he was in the place. As they leave to go commit their crimes with the gas, they leave him with the scarecrow costume in like a dark closet. And when they come back later on in the show, he comes back and when they open the door, the kid's not there. Instead, he has the Scarecrow costume on, hopefully hinting towards the beginning of the actual Scarecrow that we know from the series. He uses the gas, he escapes. He's going to be a problem for the upcoming episodes, which is really cool. I want to see how Batman kind of tackles this. Or young Bruce Wayne, that is. And if we're getting Bruce Wayne now as he's a teenager, he's not quite an adult to where you would believably be able to see him hold his own against an adult, but if he catches them by surprise or something, then it would be believable for him to take down most people, especially with his training and him not really being afraid to stop them. Even if he does get hurt, he's not afraid to get hurt to do that. And he's taken steps in his own before, but now he actually has the training of fighting and protecting himself and everything. So while I don't see this as like year one Batman or like a 0 year or whatever for Batman, it's getting really close to where season 4 he's doing all this. By the end of season 5 or season 6, he is going to be Batman, which is really exciting because we've gotten the beginning of Batman. We've gotten the beginning of stuff before, of these characters' origin stories and stuff, but we never had anything. The closest thing to this that I've seen was really Smallville, where it was a story of him growing up similar to this, and then we see him eventually, because it goes on for years and years. When it started, Gotham was a kid, now he's a teenager. Here in a couple more years, he'll be old enough to believably put on the suit of Batman. So I really want to see where this goes. I want to see where it goes in terms of Batman and Bruce Wayne's progression. Catgirl Selina Kyle was training with the whip and everything. There's a cool scene with Bruce Wayne and Selina on the rooftop talking to each other, doing their weird flirty thing. I'm not flirting, I am flirting, we're talking, something deeper is going on here. It was really interesting. The funniest part came when there was a small gang trying to take over and rob people at this wedding rehearsal, or maybe it actually was the wedding, I forget. And they come in, stop everything, but then the bodyguard comes, who's like the serial killer guy that's bald. I've seen him in a few other shows. I forgot his name, so please forgive me. He comes in. He's like, hey, do you have a license for this? Blah, blah, blah. They don't, so he stops them. Everyone's like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're saved. You saved our wedding. Thank you. And then the team who has the license to come in, and it was really, I don't know if you would call it a bit of irony, but it was really good. Also, I want to give a shout out to Geek Fuel, if you can see this. My shirt came in today. It has a little tear on, yeah, sorry. Camera's reversed here. So it has a little tear over here. That's not too bad after I cut it off. But it's got the Japanese and Batman and all of his sexiness, all of my chubby sexiness. So I'm just really excited for Gotham this season to see where everything's going. We see new villains coming up. We see villains turning into their own. We see the anti-heroes like Selina becoming her own thing. And we see the hero, Batman, finally doing Batman-like things. He isn't just training with Alfred. He isn't just doing some mind control stuff, being held up in the prison or whatever it was. He's actually being Batman. He's on the streets, helping people, saving people. And it's really good. Gotham is at a better start than Season 3. I was really interested in Season 1. Season 2 had there was all of the hype from the end of Season 1 coming in. With Season 2, they actually know what the show is going to be, what they're going to be doing. The tone of the show and everything's already there. It wasn't like that with Season 1. They had that special they put out to where it was like, this is what we want to do, this is how it's going to be, blah, blah, blah. And it was really great. But then as the season progresses, they really find who they are, what they're trying to do with the show. So with Season 2, they have all that experience and past time to look back on and say, okay, this is what we liked, this is what we didn't like. Now we can refine what Gotham is. So, and coming off of a really strong first season, season 2 was really, really hyped for me. Actually, I don't even really like using that word hype. It gets thrown around a lot by people. But anyways, it was really interesting. And then going into season 3, I don't know if it was where my daughter was just born, so I had a lot of other responsibilities, so I wasn't really paying that much attention. There was a lot going on with the Flash and everything that I was even more excited for. But season 4, going into it, I wasn't that excited, and I was pleasantly surprised. So Gotham season 4, episode 1, Pax Penguina. Really great. Check it out. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. I'll be doing videos like this for every single DC TV show. My friend Ashley will hopefully be doing reviews for upcoming Marvel TV shows. And we have our co-host, who you all probably seen on the weekly podcast that we're going to be doing, where we all just, any variation of him and I, or Ashley and I, sitting around talking about the episodes, what we wanted to see, what we hope to see, our thoughts and expectations. That'll be weekly. It'll kind of be whatever we thought was the best or the worst of that week, and we'll be talking about it as a weekly podcast format, but we'll also be doing these individual reviews, plus Averith, who is the co-host, will be making his own special one-off videos like top 5 potential enemies coming to the Flash, top 5 potential scenarios in Arrow, top 10 most likely, just like random top 5, top 10 fun lists. Like, what are the top 5 major possibilities for the crossover? Who is most likely, because the Flash always has the friend who turns out to be the villain. In the first season, we talked about how it was the person who was training him. Season 2, it was the person who was pretending to be the Flash's friend. Season 3 of the Flash, turned out it was the Flash, was the bad guy. Future Flash. So with this next season, we're kind of joking around like who's going to be the next one to turn. We've seen like so many people who we thought were good turn bad, turn back good. A lot of flip-floppy back and forth. It was really fun. So we talk about stuff like that. And then of course, you all can suggest anything that you would like. We'll be talking about a lot of stuff. I want to do other things too. I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball Super. I'm a big fan of Rick and Morty, a lot of the shows on Marvel's Netflix catalog. So we have a lot of to talk about, a lot of nerdy, geeky stuff. We don't use that word in a bad way. I'm a huge nerd. I'm a huge geek. We don't have a name for the podcast. We don't have really a name for anything yet. So if you watching this can think of anything that you would like us to see, or like to see as the name or potential names, please let us know. We will appreciate any feedback to these. I'm using the end of this episode, since this is the first review, I'm using it as a way to let you know what to expect. I didn't want to put it at the beginning because then people who are actually interested in the Gotham review would be like, what's this? This guy's just promoting his channel the whole time for 5 minutes. I want to know what he thought of Gotham. I don't want to hear him talk about stupid stuff with his dumb shirt, and big nose, and fat cheeks, and big old chesticles. I want to hear his thoughts on Gotham. So that's why it's at the end of this. I might be ranting a little bit. If you haven't noticed, none of this was scripted. It's just me talking to a camera, talking to the microphone, which right now, being honest, I'm using my Logitech webcam. It's the basic go-to webcam for any streamer that you would find, using the Blue Yeti microphone, but I just ordered a microphone and a new camera. Not anything fancy. It's one of those little handy Zoom-like microphones that record really good. but I'll be using that for more on the go type of things. Like if I'm out somewhere and I want to do a review, I don't have my laptop and my Blue Yeti with me, I can use that. The camera that I bought was a Canon R700, which is a lot better than the camera on my iPhone, a lot better than the camera on my webcam, but not quite as good as what you would expect from, like, what is it, the Canon T3i, which is the it's the camera that most YouTube people use for video. Even though it's not really meant for video, I thought buying a video camera would be a lot better than buying a picture camera that could also take video, since it's designed specifically for video, so hopefully the video quality will be good. And I guess that's brings us to the end of this. If you all know my other YouTube channel, youtube.com/GameOverJesse, where we talk about Zelda, Nintendo, gaming news, history. We cover canceled games, give you details on them, why they were canceled, what they were going to be like, how they started out, what they changed into. Like Zelda 3 was kind of scrapped and converted into what we know as A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo. Mother 3 started out as a Super Nintendo game before being moved to the Nintendo 64 and later the Nintendo 64 disk drive, before being scaled back to just the Nintendo 64 and finally scaled back again for the Game Boy Advance. And then it only released in Japan. It still hasn't released in America. So Mother 3, Earthbound, as you all know it. And a lot of interesting history. There's some crossover there with the nerdiness and the geeky side of comics and gaming. So hopefully some of the fans of Game Over Jesse will come over here. I didn't want to name this Game Over Comics or Jesse Comics, whatever. I didn't want it to be a focus on me. I don't want to be in the spotlight. I want this to be about friends making videos that they like. So it's not just me. If you want just me, you can go over to Game Over Jesse, but then it's still not completely me. Like I said, you can find Ashley and everyone on here. Hopefully we'll get new people to come in and give their perspective. This is really a community-driven channel. And then Game Over Jesse, it's me and the rest of the Chamber of Sages. Me and Sasizi, me and HMK, me and Yuri of Wind sometimes, me and McIntyre, RMFH, Zelda Master, Zeltic, everybody. Daniel, our editor. So check those videos out if you would like. I keep looking over here. I have my monitor over here, but that'll be the good thing about getting the camera, because I can just flip it. I can look directly at the camera, still see myself. You won't have to see me looking over. If you hear the fan, I'm going to be quiet for a few seconds. If you hear that noise is coming from the fan in my laptop. My PC is even louder and it's a lot harder to carry around back and forth, so I mostly use my laptop. But the fan, when it gets hot, picks up, you can hear it, and that's what I'm hoping the video camera will do. If I have the video camera and the microphone, there won't be any noise. The microphone will just pick up me talking, maybe if there's some ambient sound, and it'll be closer to me, and then the camera quality will be better as well. I've been going on for way too long, so thank you all for watching this far. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't already, please do. Please check out Game Over Jesse, and as always, you can join us on Discord with the link in the description to be a part of the conversation, join on our discussion videos, and much more. We are getting close to 700, hoping to get a Discord partnership, maybe even reach 1,000 subscribers. So thank you. If you enjoy the videos on my channel, please consider subscribing, checking out my second channel focusing on movies and TV shows, and my Patreon, where you can join in as a guest in upcoming videos, watch new videos first, you can have me join in and collaborate on videos for your own channel, have custom artwork or custom avatars made of yourself or for your channel, and much more.